The Tuesday, July 1st, 2014 Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Present.
Trustee Carter.
Present.
Trustee Fuller.
Present.
Trustee Reichert. Present. Trustee Gett.
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Thank you. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for the June 17th, 2014 meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes as submitted?
I move to approve the minutes for June 17th.
I have a motion from Trustee Reichert.
Second.
Second from Trustee Cumming. All those in favor of approving the Board of Trustee minutes for the June 17th, 2014 meeting as submitted, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it, and the board has approved the minutes for the Board of Trustees minutes on June 17th, 2014. Next up is correspondence, and that will be from our village clerk, Shauna Musselman.
I just have one item this evening, and it is a letter from the Illinois Art League dated June 24th, 2014. And it reads, "Dear Sarah, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for all the help and guidance you gave us for our membership show. You are always very gracious and go to the extra mile for our show to be a success. The Illinois Art League is a great organization, and we depend on places like the Peoria Heights Tower Park and you to make our event successful. Again, a heartfelt thank you. Sincerely, Beverly K. Pullen, President of the Illinois Art League."
Okay, thank you very much. No announcements tonight, so we'll move to the trustee reports, and first up will be the ambulance service with Trustee Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Go to Public Works with Trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. The only thing I have on Monday, July 14th, we will be doing some tree trimming. There will be an arborist involved on the east side of Prospect. And then starting on the 21st of July, they will work on the west side of Prospect. They need to trim some trees back from power lines and things like that. So I'm sure we'll have a few calls.
A couple here and there. Okay.
That's all for that.
All right. Thank you very much. Any questions at all for Trustee Harn? Okay, thank you again. We'll move to administration personnel with Trustee Reichert.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Go to economic development, village improvements with Trustee Carter.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you very much. Move on to the police department with Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I'd like to announce that our next neighborhood watch meeting will be July 28th, right up here at Village Hall at 6:30 p.m. So if you have any code enforcement or police issues in your neighborhood, please come up and join us and let us know what they are, and we'll look into them. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to extend an apology. I know we have a few of our neighborhood watch members in attendance this evening, and was very under the weather yesterday and was a no-call, no-show for the meeting last night, and apologize for not letting you guys know and not being here. Thank you.
Wow. Very touching.
Mama raised me right.
Yeah, I'll say. Your mom didn't raise no fool. Any questions at all for Trustee Cumming?
For office.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move to building maintenance with Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. As far as I know, I have nothing to report.
All right, and then we will move to the fire department with Trustee Gett.
Well, I would say second verse, but Chief, don't we have you have a fundraiser coming up?
We do. Do you want me to mention something? September 6th is what we're looking for.
September 6th, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, we've got it on the agenda later on, so would you come up, Chief, at that time and give us background on it?
Okay.
Okay. All right, any questions at all for Trustee Gett? All right, then we'll move on to comments from the audience. Young man? And go ahead, there you go, you're one step ahead.
I have two things to say. When you're doing, when you're talking about the approval and stuff for the new business, could you report why you side with that for my merit badge? Like, if you like it or not.
Okay, what was that now? Yeah, what project or?
It's for a merit badge.
Okay.
And it's the communications, and I'm supposed to state why one side disagrees with something. like why they don't want something.
Okay.
And could you like explain that, like why the person wouldn't want it?
Oh, I
Or-
mean, like if we have any disagreements tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have any for you tonight, but maybe somebody will get upset about something anyhow.
Okay. And for the, I noticed down at the Prospect where by the BP, there's only 3 sides to the crosswalk. I wanted to know why that was.
Down by the BP, we have 3 sides of crosswalk.
Yeah, and you're missing a 4th.
Okay. Trying to think, on Marietta, I know we have one on the north side of the
Yeah.
intersection, and then we have one on the east and the west. The reason there isn't one, right, I think you're talking about the south end of the intersection of Marietta and Prospect, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we decided at that time, it was partially a cost factor, and also because it wasn't really, because of the train tracks at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't really a crosswalk per se that was being used to access, from one side to the other. And now we're to the point now, obviously the trail's there, and we're hoping to have some type of a crossing there at the trail at some point.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, you're the first who's asked that, but it does look a little bit odd at times. If you look, you're looking for 4.
Yeah, because when
crosswalks in there.
I go down to get sodas from the gas station, I always have to walk around.
Well, I'll tell you, we don't want you to have to do that, but
Yeah.
you're right, that is a safety factor. That's
Yeah.
probably the best way to do it, but yeah, sorry about that, but at least you'll be able to cross, hopefully, with a safe trail in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Hold on,
thank you.
I'm sorry, I just have a quick question for the record. Can you tell me your name and your address, please?
James Erkman, 1401 East Manita Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from the audience? Okay, James, we'll see what we can do to get some angry comments up here for you, okay? No old business tonight, so we'll go to new business. And first is the approval to purchase a 2014 Dodge Durango, and that will be presented by Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. Do we want to do these separately, or can we do them together?
Let's do them separately because we have different
That sounds great.
agenda
I'd
items.
like to make a motion that we purchase a 2014 Dodge Durango for the police department. This is going to be, we're replacing 2 vehicles. I'm foreshadowing a little bit. With new vehicles, they have reached the 100,000 mile limitation. We need to rotate them out of service. So this is a 2014 Dodge Durango. List price is $28,097. We're getting $1,200 on a trade-in for it's a 2002, is that correct, Chief? Chevy Impala, which will be, the balance due will be $26,897, and this was accounted for in our 2014 fiscal budget.
Okay. Make a motion then for that approval?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, sorry, I was all.
Second.
I have a motion from Trustee Cumming and a second from Trustee Gett. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the purchase of the 2014 Dodge Durango vehicle for the police department in the amount of $26,897 as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter? Aye. Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. The board has approved the purchase of the 2014 Dodge Durango in the amount of $26,897 as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Next order of new business is another approval for a purchase of a Dodge Charger, and that will be presented by Trustee Cumming.
Thank you once again, Mayor Allen. This is for the purchase of a 2014 Dodge Charger. We're going to be replacing a previous Dodge Charger that we've owned. Let's see, sticker price on this is $22,467. We're getting $2,450 in trade for a balance due of $20,017. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this purchase.
I have a motion from Trustee Cumming,
Second.
second from Trustee Carter. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the purchase of the 2014 Dodge Charger for the police department as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter? Aye. Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. The board has approved the purchase of the 2014 Dodge Charger in the amount of $20,000.17 for the police department, as outlined by Trustee Cumming. Next order of new business tonight is approval of a special use permit renewal, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I make a motion to renew Tanya Pruitt's massage therapy business out of her home on Clayton Avenue.
Okay, have a motion from Trustee Carter,
Second.
second from Trustee Reichert. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the special use permit renewal for Tanya Pruitt, and that as presented by Trustee Carter. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the special use permit renewal for Tanya Pruitt, as outlined by Trustee Carter. Next order of new business tonight is an approval for the use of Tower Park for the Scottish Rite Walk, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I make a motion to allow the ancient accepted Scottish Rite Walk to use the Tower Park September 20th. Looks like from 9:30 to whenever. There's no end date, end time on it.
Okay. I know they've used this for, I think, several years running now, so good cause, I'm sure. I have a motion from Trustee Carter,
Second.
second from Trustee Harn. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for approval of the use of Tower Park on Saturday, September 20th with the Scottish Rite Walk as outlined by Trustee Carter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. The board has approved the use of Tower Park Saturday, September 20th for the Scottish Rite Walk. Next up, new business is the approval of use of Tower Park for the Peoria Heights Fire Department fundraiser. Trustee Carter.
Thank you. If Chief Walters wants to come up. And then I can explain, and then I can make a motion after he tells us about it.
Good evening. The Peoria Heights Volunteer Firemen's Association is requesting to utilize Tower Park for a fundraising event for the association itself to offset some of our costs. The association, I'm sure you're aware of, kind of helps budgetary issues. They buy water, they buy food and stuff like that when we're doing our training. And we've had quite a bit of training this year, and our budget is real thin. And I'm actually speaking on behalf of the president, who's not here tonight, so I'll talk on his behalf. We are requesting to utilize the Tower Park for a bags tournament, and it's twofold. The first portion of it, I do believe that's going to go from 10 to noon, will be firemen only. And that's just to kind of get our firefighting community around the Peoria area, Tazewell County area together. For the prize would be a trophy, and it's a pass-along trophy. After the firefighters only is over with, then we're going to open it up to the public. There will be a fee to get into it, along with the bags tournament, which from what I understand from the association's president is it brings in quite a few people. We will have a beer tent. We're going for ribeye steaks and hot dogs and stuff of that nature. Along with that, there's a magician who has offered his expertise to go around. When the crowd gets bigger, he'll show up. And also there'll be DJ music is what we're looking for right now. We're right at the beginning stages. There's a lot of legwork that has to be done. But I think this will benefit the association, our community, and hopefully we can make this an annual event by bringing in other departments as well. The fire department in here, and just put on a good show. And you never know how big this thing's going to get. So. Any questions?
No, Chief, I was going to say, if you guys are going to entertain sponsors, please give me a call down at AA Accounting.
Certainly,
To help
certainly.
you guys out.
I greatly appreciate that. And I will take all this information back to the president and his board and let them, I'm going to guide them. They've never done this before. See how well they do. I hope this is successful. I hope you vote in our favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, I make a motion for the Peoria Heights Volunteer Firemen's Association to use the Tower Park
Have a mo-
September 6th.
Okay, have a motion from trustee Carter,
Second.
second from trustee Cat. James, we're trying real hard, but I just don't know if we're going to find anything for you tonight. I'm sorry. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval for the use of Tower Park on Saturday, September 6th for the Peoria Heights Fire Department fundraiser as outlined by trustee Carter and Chief Walters. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. Chief, it's all yours. September 6th. Best of luck on that. Next order of new business tonight has to do with, oddly enough, the approval to recognize the reelection of Chief Greg Walters Sr. as Fire Chief, and that will be presented by trustee Gett.
Yeah, well, maybe we might have one here, you know. We need approval to reelect Chief Greg Walters as Fire Chief. I don't know, what do you think, trustee Cumming? Think we should go ahead and...
Well, I think I was going to say something about current events over across the river, but I think discretion is the better part of valor. So, you know, if the volunteer fire department has voted Chief Walters back for a second term as chief, you know what? I mean, hey, we're all about giving the people what they want, right?
Yeah, since nobody else probably wants it, so at this time I make the motion to reelect Chief Greg Walters Sr. as Fire Chief.
You have a motion from trustee Gett.
Second.
I have a second from trustee Carter. I do want to read the letter that we received from the Peoria Heights Fire Department from Secretary Captain Eric Swanson. It's addressed Mayor Mark Allen and Peoria Heights Village Board. As guided by the bylaws of the Peoria Heights Firefighters Association, we held our standard elections for chief and association member officers at the June 10th meeting with the expectation that elected members would serve their 2-year terms beginning on July 1st of 2014. At the meeting of June 10th, 2014, the association reelected Gregory Walters Sr. to the position of chief of the department, and this action is now pending your affirmation. With your affirmation, Chief Greg Walters Sr. would continue as chief for another 2-year cycle, as guided by the bylaws of the association. With his years of experience as an officer and firefighter, his dedication to the village of Peoria Heights, and the support of the active firefighters of this department, we are honored to seek your approval of this reelection of our fire chief. Signed from the Peoria Heights Fire Department, Eric N. Swanson, Secretary Captain. So that's quite a ringing endorsement, Chief. And with that, I would ask our Madam Clerk to please call roll for the recognition of the Volunteer Fire Department, a reelection of Gregory Walters Sr. as Fire Chief for the Village of Peoria Heights.
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. Chief, we don't know why you're doing it again, but we appreciate all your hard work. So best of luck again on another interesting and exciting 2 years coming up, and we do appreciate your volunteer time and appreciate all you do for the village. Okay, great. We'll now move on to some radios for the fire department, and this will be presented by trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. This time I'd like to make a motion for, to approve the purchase of some radios for the fire department at its cost of $2,772.51.
Okay.
I thought he was getting two of them.
Yeah, I
So
think
he's
he's getting
times.
2, right? Yeah.
The proposal set for 2, that 2772 was the cost for one radio.
Okay, so let's double it. What is that? 55, 45.02.
$54.4502. Does that sound right?
It'd be 55.
55? You're right.
55.
I ran out of fingers there. Yeah, no, thank God it's English. It doesn't help me much more. She teaches English. That doesn't help me one bit. Okay, so you're asking for, made a motion for 5,000.
2 radios.
2 radios, 5,545.02 from Raygon Communications. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second from trustee Reichert. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for the approval of the purchase of 2 radios from Raygon Communications for the fire department in the amount of $5,545.02 as outlined by trustee Gett. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
I have a quick question. Which radios? Are like CB radios or
They're
like
the handheld, aren't they?
handheld radios?
They're portable, handheld 800 megahertz radios.
The ones you carry around on your belt?
Correct.
Okay. Those must be very good radios.
Well, these are the new 800 megahertz that we were required by the county to go to. We received 10 of them through a state grant, but that grant is over with. We're still able to get 2 additional radios at a reduced cost. That's where this, they run $3,200 to $3,500 a piece.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the days of the $250 to $350 portable radios are gone.
What's that mean, 800 megahertz? I don't know. I don't mess with radios.
I'm not really a radio aficionado, but what this radio is supposed to do, and from what our testing has been, is true, is we've got better reception throughout, okay? And whether it's, I could sit here in this room, and if I had one of my people out in Chicago, because they did this, I can talk to them on the radio.
You're kidding. Wow.
As opposed to the VHF radios, which are local, even in our own small community, we had a lot of what we refer to as holes in it where we didn't get good communication. When we got into a building, like in the basement of here, I could stand up by my fire trucks and I could not to talk to somebody down there in my training room. So the reception is tremendous, but we were, I don't want to use the word forced, but we were. With the change in FCC regulations, the type of radios that we're supposed to use, this is what was agreed upon by the Emergency Telecommunications Board.
Well, it also puts you guys in touch with more than just your little area that you're in. You guys can reach out like in a giant area where if you needed other people to come in and help or whatever. That's pretty cool.
The reception's exceptional, and that's what we want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions at all from the board? Okay, once again, this is for the approval of the 2 radios for the fire department in the amount of $5,545.02. It's outlined by trustee Gett. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cummings?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the purchase of the 2 communications radios from Raygon for the fire department in the amount of $5545.02. Next order of new business tonight has to do with the MFT seal coating contract, and that will be presented by trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. We had budgeted with our engineer's estimate for $112,290.80, and our bid came in at $101,530.20. We kind of plan to take the extra money and work on Bonita, I believe. There's a lot of roads that need attention in Peoria Heights, most of them, but that's the plan with the extra money since it was already budgeted. So the area that we're planning on working on this time will be south of Lake and west of Prospect, that area down in there. It's their turn to get seal coated. So, and we will be using the trap rock again. That works really well. You seem to have less tar problems on your cars, and it just holds up for a long time. It doesn't crush, it doesn't deteriorate like limestone and other materials. So I make a motion, we approve Cullinan as our contractor for our seal coating for $101,530.20.
We have a motion from trustee Harn,
Second.
second from trustee Cumming. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes?
Well, if you're going to go ahead and use the 112,000, shouldn't you make the motion to spend for that amount? if you're gonna go ahead and use the whole amount?
Well, we don't know the exact dollar figure we'll
Yeah,
use.
this is just we've received the bid back for the work that we asked for. It just unexpectedly came in lower, so we're gonna, as Colin gets going, we're just gonna have them add on as much as they can to bring us up to what we budgeted in the MFT. But this actual contract tonight is just for the 101.
Okay.
When we get to it, we'll bring it back to the board's attention again, so everybody knows where the money's going. It's always important.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, well, once again, this is for board approval of the bid from R.A. Cullinan in the amount of $101,530.20 for the MFT seal coating for this year, as outlined by Trustee Harn. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Riker.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the MFT seal coating bid from in the amount of $101,530.20 from R.A. Cullinan, as outlined by Trustee Harn. Final order of new business tonight is regarding some bike trail crossing signals. James, you might want to hear this. There might not be a lot of dissension about it, but you'll be interested in this. And that will be presented by Trustee Harn.
Thank you again, Mayor Allen. Okay, this motion will be for the materials. There will be a sign that's LED and lights up. It's solar powered, so we won't have to wire it into electricity, obviously. And the price that we're getting here is just for the materials. It's a hiking and biking sign and the pole and the solar panel. Our own Public Works Department will install the sign and put it up. It will go, there'll be a little push button. So when you walk up to it, you can push the button and it won't stop traffic, but it'll make people aware that you're trying to cross Prospect. And it'll go right down there on Prospect and Marietta. And
So they're gonna push a button?
yeah, they'll push a button to activate it, and then it'll stay on for so long, and people won't stop. So we don't want people to get the idea that it's safe to go running out in front of a car, but what it will do is it will just alert people that, hey, you know, someone's crossing, they are gonna use the crosswalk. The Park District didn't have a plan in place to get across Prospect. They had a nice one for Knoxville, you know, but Prospect's pretty busy too. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're doing what we can. Actually, if someone's really worried, they can make the little hike up to Kelly. There's a stoplight right there, and it's only 1 block out of the way. And I mean, you're out for a walk anyway, so why not a couple of extra little steps there?